Hey Bruce and Janice, this is Donnie again. I'm going to give this tutorial on how to change the text in the bottom widgets on your home page. And that is the information that you find here. Here's what they call bottom left, bottom middle, and bottom right, I believe is what they call those. We'll find out here in a second. What you'll see is some of this is text and some of this is a graphic. Now, part of what we did when we talked initially was to figure out what we want to say here. To give it the look and feel we wanted to go for, we had to create kind of images of these seminars, individual and small group. I'm going to right click and do a view. Let's see if I can do this. Is this going to work right? Yeah. See the image here, and it's kind of fades down and kind of stops just about right, probably right about here, and goes across and goes that way. Or it may go all the way down, I'm not sure, but that is the image itself. There we go. It's taking a while to load. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the home page and show you how to make the change in the text part, because if you ever want to make the change on this, unfortunately that's going to be an image that we would have to handle for you, and we could do it at a pretty small fee to make those changes, but hopefully those won't change anytime soon. If they ever do, just let me know and we can give you a small quote of what it would take to change those. It wouldn't be much, but this text here is something that you can change. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, this is one of the parts of a website that is a little bit more challenging to do than others. But part of what I want to do in this tutorial is to give you confidence by giving you a video so that you know how to do it in the future and you can watch it over and over. So how do we get to that? Let's go back to our dashboard as we typically do when we want to make changes to the site. We're going to scroll down under my theme, under appearance. If you don't see that, click the arrow button. You're going to see widgets. So we want to click that. And while we wait, try that again and see if I can. There we go. I'm going to move this over a little bit, my window, so you can see a little bit more of what we're dealing with. Hopefully, I think you've got all of this in the window here. Let me see if I can move that over just slightly. There we go. What you're looking for on this page is the bottom left, bottom middle, and bottom right. All of these are very similar in nature. So I'm going to pull up the site, bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. So now that you kind of have an idea of where, so let's look at this. Now, when you deal with these kind of things, widgets often pull in a lot of different things, and what WordPress does is basically creates what they call a text box, which really in essence is just a blank box. And this is where we have to put in some HTML code to make this work. Now, let me show you. Once you get a handle of it, you'll think, oh, this is not as hard as it might look. So, this is the bottom left. Okay, we're in the bottom left. We open up this little thing here. I'm clicking on a little arrow button that exposes things here. We don't have anything in the title. And so here's our little HTML code that creates this information here. So, okay. So here's what we do on that. So you see here where it's got motivational teaching, unique film presentations. That is all right here. And that's really all it is. Now, there's a little space here. And whenever you're doing HTML code, this BR is like a page break. It stands for something. Maybe it's just break, I think is what it is. And they've got these little slashes and arrows and stuff like that. Again, as long as you don't mess with any of that, you'll be okay. So don't worry about what that means, other than there's up here because it creates a little space between the top of the graphic and the text here. So this right here, if you ever wanted to change this, let's say you wanted to add a line here that says see New York Times article. Now, one thing you want to be careful about is how much space that you've got before it runs off the page. Now, let me show you. I think we're okay on that. See, seems New York Times article below. Okay. Now, if we ever wanted to change this, instead of say click here to learn more, this is where we could change this to be try to get my mouse to cooperate with me. Here we go. Where we create NewYorkTimes.com. And then what you have is this little thing here. Don't worry about all this href and all that stuff. Just know that it's within the quotes. You have the NewYorkTimes.com slash. Well, you don't even need the slash in there. This strong means that it just bolds it, and this strong with this little slash in front of it means that it's time to stop bolding it. This is what you want. This is what's going to be hyperlinked. So you see that down there. So if you ever wanted to change it, that's where you do that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And when I save it, now I'm going to go back to my page. I'm going to refresh my page. You see how it added the text here. And now if I was to click on this, it brings up to the New York Times. And that is as simple. And that's what I just showed you is exactly what you would do on the bottom middle and the bottom right. Now there's some little things about the bottom rights and middles that you need to be aware of, is you have bullet points. Now in HTML code, and I'll just show you, the bottom right and bottom middle are very similar, is that you have this LI. LI is a code that means, I can't even remember what it's just a bullet point. It's really what it is. I don't even know why they call it a LI, but that's what they call it. So you see here, you have to have the LI in front of it. Again, when you're making changes, don't change, just don't delete that or do anything to it. Just make your change after the LI, and the same thing here. And if you ever wanted to do more LIs, you could just copy that, space it below. The thing you have to be careful here is that you will eventually run out of room, because this will start to go off to the end of the page, and you don't want that. So you have to kind of limit it to 2 on here. You might get by with a 3rd bullet point, but you want to keep it pretty simple. So all you need to do is make that change, and I'll close that off since I didn't make any changes there. And that's kind of what you do to change the text in the widgets, which are the bottom left, bottom right, bottom left, bottom middle, and bottom right. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.